Welcome.
ברוכים הבאים, ברוכות הבאות.
Thank you for joining us to represent the political voice of Reform, Progressive, and Liberal Religious Zionism at the 38th World Zionist Congress.
We are looking forward to sharing the experience with you. And please, be assured, we are always here to help.
We are so excited that we are joined by delegates, alternates, and observers from 16 countries around the world.
We are also happy to be joined by the delegates and alternates of the World Union for Progressive Judaism.
Thank you for all the work that you did in the past years to fight for our values and ensure that our voice will continue to be heard within the Zionist movement. And so we ask for God's blessing for the journey that lies ahead.
ברוכים וברוכות נהיה בבואנו ובצאתנו.
May we be blessed as we go out and as we come in. Amen.
Amen.
Chaverim Yekarim, Bruchim Abayim. Welcome to this Arzenu virtual pre-Vada Poel seminar. As current chair of the IMPJ, the Israeli Reform Movement, and as deputy world chair of Kakal JNF, the Keren Kayemet Israel, it is a true pleasure to have you, our Reformed Zionist partners and friends from around the world, join us at this gathering. We do not take for granted your investment of time and your commitment to our movement and our continuing efforts to ensure that here in Israel, as in other places around the world, we too can fully, freely, and equally express and practice our Judaism. With help from friends like yourselves, we continue making important headways in the ongoing struggle for true Jewish pluralism in Israel. One important manifestation of that support is your involvement in the national institutions, where we Reformed Jews have an important place around the Zionist table. Through the strength you provide us and through the work we are all doing on the ground here in Israel and in your own home countries, we will continue to impact the agendas and policies of these institutions in keeping with the prophetic values we all believe in, and will continue to endeavor to ensure continued funding for our movement and for our partners at Arzenu and at the World Union. Chaverim, toda rabba. Thank you, dear friends, for all you are doing and for joining us virtually at this seminar. Here's hoping that b'mehera b'yameinu, much sooner rather than later, we can all meet once again in person. Chaverim, leitraot.
Dear Arzenu delegates, leaders in our reform, liberal, and progressive movements from throughout the world, I want to welcome you to this very different and special virtual pre-conference before the World Zionist Congress on behalf of the lay leadership, rabbis, staff, congregations, and members of the Israel Movement for Reform and Progressive Judaism. I see this conference with all its challenges as an opportunity for us to build our mutual relationship, learn about each other's challenges, and strengthen our commitment as Zionists and Reform Jews to Israel's futures as a Jewish and democratic society, and to the future of the Jewish people in recognition and celebration of our diversity. I look forward to seeing you in the various online programs, and especially to seeing you here in Israel when, as we all pray, the corona pandemic comes to an end. Bruchim habaim and shalom from Yerushalayim.
Hi, I'm Carol Sterling. I have the privilege of serving as the chair of the World Union for Progressive Judaism. And along with our president, Rabbi Sergio Bergman, it is our pleasure to welcome you to the first virtual gathering of the 38th World Zionist Congress. Even though we are apart, we will be spending the next days together, learning, studying, praying, and connecting with one another. We are delighted to welcome over 100 new delegates to this Congress from all around the world. We thank you for your dedication and your commitment to our beloved state of Israel and for strengthening the bonds that bring us together as progressive Jews. We thank our partners at Arzenu for their cooperation, collaboration, and support. We wish you a meaningful conference, and we hope that we can meet together before too long in person. In the meantime, stay safe and healthy. Take care.
Bruchim Habaim Me'Yerushalayim. I wish I could be saying that. Better yet, Bruchim Habaim LiYerushalayim. I really wish I could be saying that. Welcome to everyone from Jerusalem, or better yet, welcome everyone to Jerusalem. If not for COVID, that's what we would all be doing, gathering now in Jerusalem to prepare ourselves for the World Zionist Congress. I want to welcome everyone in our Arzenu contingent and thank you for your participation. You are about to have a wonderful experience of learning and growing and discovering about the meaning of Zionism in the 21st century. I'm Rabbi Bennett Miller, representing Arza, and I can't thank you enough for being here with all of us. This is a time to be able to meet each other, to learn from each other, and to grow together. All of us in the Reform movement in the United States, we're all here with you, represented by the URJ and Women for Reform Judaism and the CCAR and all of our various affiliates. We're all one in this great Reform Zionist enterprise, and we can't be more excited about what it is that we are about to do. Remember, the World Zionist Congress is, if you will, the parliament of the Jewish people, first established by Theodor Herzl, and meeting every 4 or 5 years ever since. This Congress will be important in the work that it does, even though it is hampered by the fact that we cannot all be physically together. The preparation for the Congress will be even more important, for it is there that we will be able to focus on the issues that we believe are near and dear to us as Reform Jews, and that we believe are important in terms of the continued building of our beloved state of Israel. So join us. We're thrilled that you're here. We hope that you will make new friends, that you will discover a lot, and that we will learn from you. And more importantly, we look forward to gathering together with you in Jerusalem at the very next opportunity that we have when the virus is gone and when in the streets of Jerusalem, children are dancing and celebrating the great miracle of modern time, the birth of the state of Israel and its long continued existence and contribution to the rest of the world. Shalom.
Shalom, אני ליאור מישראל. I'm the head of the Youth and Young Adults Engagement Department for the World Union for Progressive Judaism. It's my honor and privilege to welcome you to the conference prior to the World Zionist Congress taking place this year. This Congress is probably the only event that is taking place in 2020 that is still happening and hasn't been postponed. And maybe it should tell us something about the importance of what you're doing or about to do. In the 38th Congress, there are going to be some decisions to take, and there are going to be a lot of implications to what you decide. It affects the people who are going to get chosen to different positions. It's going to affect the funding that we're getting as a movement. All of us really care about the Jewish future, otherwise you wouldn't be here. And I'm really, really happy also to see so many young adults in the crowd. I'm really privileged to know most of you there, and I want to wish you the best of luck. And know that you will always keep in heart and mind the youth and the young adults, because they are the future of our people and of the progressive movement. Be'atzlacha and I hope to see you in the future in person. לשנה הבאה בירושלים הבנויה. Shalom.
Dearest friends, like you, I had hoped that we would be gathering right now in Jerusalem, and instead I'm speaking to you from the sanctuary of my synagogue in London. And while we are disappointed not to be together, there is nonetheless a lot we can celebrate. And so let me take the opportunity for the next few minutes to share a little bit about the success of our work, to celebrate the work that we do, to celebrate in particular the last 5 years of development and growth. Let me begin by expressing my gratitude to my predecessor, Rabbi Larry Englander, on whose counsel I can continue to rely. And also a big thank you to all my fellow officers, without whom the work of Arzenu would not be happening. The last 5 years have been years of transition and continuity. We continue to stay loyal to our mission, partnering with our local constituents to promote Zionist activities in our congregations around the world, and ensuring that Reform Jewish values and interests are represented in the governing bodies of the national institutions of the State of Israel. But there have also been transitions. In the past 5 years, we said goodbye to our last executive director, Dalia Levy, as she embarked on her well-deserved retirement after decades of loyal service to us. What a celebration it was in 2018 at the Vada Poel at the Zionist General Council, when not just our representatives from Arzenu, but representatives from political organizations across the spectrum celebrated Dalia for her achievements. And we welcome Dekel Chumash as the new executive director of Arzenu Olami and logistical expert extraordinaire. We continue to rely on our veteran leaders from across the world who inspire us and give wise counsel to ensure that we continue in their footsteps.
Our movement is a critical element in fighting for our Jewish values and our democratic values, and for having an influence in this country to strengthen those values and make Israel the best that it can be.
It's our job to bring more and more votes and more people that can actually change the discussion towards a more liberal, pluralistic Israeli society.
The more power we have around the table, the more we could push for agendas that we believe in, whether it's in Tikkun Olam issues, whether it's issues regarding the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, any and all of the issues that are very important to our friends abroad.
We are a part of the game, and because of our strength, we are actually a very essential actor within this arena.
But we have also seen a transition. When I took up office in 2017, I made a commitment to bring more women and young people into the Zionist organizations.
For me, it's amazing to be here, to be part, and to feel that my heart is here.
My favorite part of being here with Arzenu is to share with those incredible women from all over the world, women of Reform Judaism, and to be conscious on how we could impact in a more pluralistic Israel issues.
I had no idea what this would be, and now that I have a small idea, there is a big challenge what I have to bring to my country and my community.
I think it's really important to be a part of Arzenu because as diaspora Jews, we should really be engaging with Israel, and this is a great way for us to realize our values and our beliefs.
Part of my Zionism is being critical of Israel and wanting to improve Israel.
I'm a Zionist because I believe as a progressive Jew I have a responsibility to make the state of Israel be a state that lives up to the values that we as progressive Jews hold.
I'm a Reform Zionist because I believe that Israel has a long way to go and I want to be part of the process in making it the Israel that I want it to be.
I think it's important that all of the spectrum of young people's views are heard, from right to left to center to everything in between, but also to make it clear that we are still on the same mission as the generations that came before us.
One big takeaway from the conference was definitely feeling really empowered to go home and do more in terms of Israel and in terms of Zionism. This conference has really empowered me to act.
Thanks to the additional funding from Keren Kayemet Yisrael, we were able to expand our activities in the past 5 years significantly. It has been my privilege to be able to visit all the regions in which we have Arzenu constituents. I haven't quite succeeded in visiting every Arzenu constituent, but from Australia to South Africa, from South Africa to South America, from South America to North America and to Europe, it has been my privilege to be able to learn in situ about the realities that our constituents face. As we gather for the 38th World Zionist Congress, we are painfully aware of the absence of a dear friend and dedicated leader. Paula Edelstein, who died just a few weeks ago, was the first executive director of Arzenu. But her contribution went far beyond just Arzenu, extending to the wider Reform, Progressive and Liberal Jewish world, the Zionist movement at large, and Israeli society. We can honor Paula's memory by carrying on the work that she was so dedicated to and passionate about. As we looked back at the past 5 years of growth and development, we shall look forward to the next 5 years. Yes, there are challenges that lie ahead, but with every challenge come many opportunities. Let us rise up to the challenge. Let us utilize every opportunity presented to us. And in that way, let us honor Paula's memory. Let us start our work today. We are so excited to be spending the next 10 days with you and look forward to connecting to old friends and to establish new friendships.
For more than a year, Leah and I had thinking about our Arzenu programming before the World Zionist Congress.
But as the saying goes, human beings make plans and God laughs.
Even though we were prepared for many last-minute surprises from the World Zionist Organization, none of us even imagined that there will be a global pandemic.
So while we're very sad not to be able to gather in person in Jerusalem, we are excited at the opportunity to convene together as a global family thanks to the marvels of technology.
Leah, is there a prayer to ask for stable internet connections around the world?
I think the rabbis taught we should never expect a miracle.
Oh, well, but can you tell us a little bit about what can we expect?
Of course, it'll be my pleasure. To accommodate participants from various time zones, we've created a program that includes both live and pre-recorded content. The pre-recorded content will be streamed before each of the live sessions, but you can also watch individual videos at your leisure by following the links in your daily email. I want to say a very big thank you to the programming team, which was a true collaboration between Arzenu around the world, the Israel Movement for Reform and Progressive Judaism, the World Union for Progressive Judaism, as well as Netze and Tamar, our youth and young adult movements. We hope that in our live program, there's something to interest each of our delegates, and we want to encourage you to invite your fellow congregants and your friends to join the live sessions. The easiest way to access the sessions is via our YouTube channel. Just search for Arzenu via your browser or smart TV. Alternatively, you can watch on Facebook. And please use the chat function on YouTube or Facebook to interact with the live program and ask questions of panelists. Details of the full program can be found on our dedicated event website, www.arzenu.org/WZC. We also hope that you will join us after the live sessions in our social gathering space to continue the conversation and get to know fellow delegates from around the world. Details of how to join can also be found in your daily emails. But why am I explaining this? Dekel, you are our logistical expert. Can you tell us a bit more about the parts of the program that are just for delegates, alternates, and observers?
Sure. And maybe most importantly, I should say, I'm here for anyone who had questions. So please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. On the 2 days before the opening of the Congress, we will hold a business meeting to help our delegates and alternates prepare for what to expect at the Congress. It is really important that all delegates attend these meetings, especially as we will explain the voting process in more detail, which is absolutely crucial for us to get right. Otherwise, our voice will not be heard. In addition, there might be a need for us to meet also during the Congress. Please be sure to look out for updates.
Wow, so that's a lot to take in. But it's all going to be in the daily emails, right?
Of course. And seeing this recording, you can also watch this video again whenever you have a question. Or you can just ask me.
And we have, of course, saved the most important info for last. Remember to have fun and try to meet new people.
Enjoy. Tehenu.
Arzenu, Our Land, a prayer for the 38th World Zionist Congress by Alden Salavai.
Arzenu Adonai Arzenu, our land, O God, our land.
What will we make of this sacred place, this land entrusted to our stewardship once again?
יהי רצון מלפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו. May it be your will, God of our ancestors,
that we convene in holy assembly in health and in peace.
For the good of the State of Israel, Zionism and world Jewry, as servant leaders to the global Jewish community.
Our task is sacred, even if the work appears mundane.
Our ideals are righteous, even if they are assailed by others.
Our purpose depends on our dedication, even if our energy fails.
Let our words stay true to our cause. Let our actions stay true to our principles.
Our voices will echo with wisdom and power, never surrendering our hopes.
And never shrink from our vision for the State of Israel, a strong and just democracy.
Respecting the religious and human rights of all, together we say,
Arzenu Adonai Arzenu, our land, O God, our land.
A prayer, a yearning, a dream yet to be fulfilled, the work that lies ahead.
V'nomar Amen, and let us say Amen.